Know how when you're listening to some modern drumming, and they're playing some figures and you'd swear it's in 4, but you just can't feel where the next figure is gonna land? Like it feels like another dimension. 8 times out of 10, it's because they're playing one very simple pattern. Simple, not easy. Whether it's prog rock like Periphery, or some sick figures Devin Taylor is soloing over at VF Jams, or Tigran Hamasyan, or any of a million other things you hear these days. What if I told you it all comes back to a single pattern? This. And it's kind of the new table stakes of modern music. The new. And if you don't understand it, all of your friends and family will laugh at you. Then you'll go broke, and years later, somebody will find you ringing a bell for Salvation Army outside a Rite Aid, and they'll be like, "Oi, is that you, Tiny Tim?" Sorry. In reality, you'll just enjoy this type of music more. Like listening in on a conversation when you actually speak the language. And it'll make your drum phrases better too. In this video, we'll crash course you on this little rhythmic morsel and maybe, just maybe, change your life forever. But only if you do it every day. And as always, the transcriptions for any hip drum stuff we do will be available for download at the link below the player. For free! Free download, you guys. I'm Nate, this is the 80/20 Drum Room, and today on the channel, once you understand this pattern, a lot more of modern drumming will make sense to you. Stay tuned. Chapter 1. What's the damn pattern, Nate? Alright, I'll tell you. It's just this. But what is that? It sounds a little like swing. But if we were to play this over 4 with a kick drum accent, it would just be boring half notes. But when we play our special lick, sure doesn't sound like half notes. That's because the regular swing unfolds over 6 subdivisions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But this contains only 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there are 2 facets to this. First, why the whole bip-ba-da thing? And second, why 5s at all? To answer the first, it just makes a more pleasing shape. Like, why play the swing pattern in swing beats? Why not constant triplets? Same with a 5-note swing. If we just played undifferentiated 16ths, we'd lose the sense of the beginning and end. Now, I promise you I'll get into the how to play it bit very soon, but first, a little why do we care? Chapter 2, why do we care? Since time immemorial, syncopation was hipper than just downbeats. We had John Philip Sousa, then they invented ragtime. Goes harder, right? Clave, salsa, New Orleans music, the meters. Don't believe me after this so condensed as to be pointless history lesson? To the kit, Batman! I'll play a downbeat-oriented pattern on the hi-hats. Kind of boring, right? Then a syncopated one with downbeats and upbeats. Hipper, right? If you don't agree, you'll just have to take my word for it at this point. So, in even meter, we've got 2 8s for every quarter. So if we play groups of 2 or 4, everything's gonna land on the downbeat. But play that 2 and that 4 back to back, and now we've got something hipper, a 6. Or really, when we talk about quarter notes, a 3. Same thing if we simply play groups of 3 notes. All of a sudden, it's on the upbeats, and it crosses the bar line. Scandal! And indeed, if you look at this stuff like big band music, funk, whatever, all the way back to ragtime, The Entertainer, it's all groups of 3 and 6 doing the syncopation. So if you grew up with a canon of Western pop music, you're pretty familiar with the old da, 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 da. So it's not quite so surprising anymore. It's a little predictable. But what about this rhythm? What's this? So you've probably guessed the end, right? It's been 3s and 6s party for the last century and a half, and now 5 is here to spoil that party. To the drums again! Here's a 3-bass syncopation you probably heard in the soundtrack to every 70s buddy cop show chase scene. Well, what if I base it on 5 instead? Same thing if I just play a backbeat with a syncopated bass drum rhythm. 3-bassed. Kind of classic, right? Retro? 5-bassed. Ooh, what was that? So the fact that it makes cool phrases like that, combined with humans and musicians in particular, tendency to mess with stuff, and voila, the cult of the 5. Okay, so should we play them? Chapter 3, how to play them. 2 stages here, first micro, then macro. At the micro, let's isolate these from any context. No meter, don't care if they're quintuplets, 16ths, whatever. Just play groups of 5 on the hats, accenting the first beat of each one. You can play the kick drum on the first beat too. Now adopt this sticking, right, left, right, right, left. Or the reverse if you're left-handed. Remember, all of this will be transcribed for you at the link below the player. And while we're at it, let's move the left hand to the snare. So get a few reps of that, then just remove the left hand for 4 reps, then bring it back. If you want to turn this into something hip already, replace the 2nd and 4th kick drum with a backbeat. Congrats! You've now got all the raw materials you need to play these little morsels. But the next step is putting them in context. Like, say they're 16th notes and we're in 5/4. That's very easy because after a bass drum and backbeat, you're back on the 1. But now, let's get freaky. Chapter 4, how to use them in meters. We said there was a micro and a macro, right? The macro is starting to hear the shapes these 5s make in non-5 meters. That's part of what Periphery is doing here, for instance. And this is also the hard part because math. But simple math, 3rd grade math. A bar of 4 has 16 16ths in it. I assume you're with me so far. So any syncopation that adds up to 16 will just repeat neatly in a single bar. It's actually factoring from math class. Factors of 16 include 1, 2, 4, and 8. So that means any repeating phrase of any of those boring lengths will finish within the bar. What about 5 though? Well, if we start playing groups of 5 and 4, we'll get through 3 cycles, but that adds up to 15, not 16. So the accent pattern will spill over the bar line like this. You might be asking, Nate, how many bars of 4 do we need to play before that 5-note pattern lands on beat 1 again if we just keep repeating it? Great question. There's some math stuff with common multiples, but there's also a very simple rule. In 4/4, a non-factor pattern that repeats endlessly will take the number of bars of 4, equivalent to its length in 16ths, to resolve to the 1. Say that 10 times fast. A non-fancy way of saying that is if you got groups of 3 16ths over 4/4, they will come back to the 1 after 3 bars, because 3 equals 3. And for the 5-note pattern, say it with me, it comes back around after 5 bars. Let's run this whole thing. Reminder, free transcription at the link below the player. If you want to feel this within a drum pattern, and you've got some coordination, you can play quarters on the kick, hit a cymbal with the right hand every beat 1, and play the 5 swing with the left hand, or just once every 5/16ths. Or you can just play quarters on the hats, a backbeat, and this pattern with the kick. Now, at total random, let's roll that periphery chorus again. Doesn't sound quite so alien, does it? But Nate, I can hear you asking, what about that VF Jams joint with Devin Taylor? Or The Grid by Tigran? Or what about me with Larnell? They don't all take 5 bars to resolve. Very astute, young Padawan. Chapter 5, Real Life Application. In real life, there's no rule that you have to repeat 5s unvaryingly for the rest of time. That's why in the VF Jams tune with Devin, they just insert a 7 at the end of the second bar and that resets the phrase. And the grid has exactly the same thing, except they put the 7 in a different place. Remember, math. 2 bars of 4 is 32/16. 5 groups of 5 add up to 25, so if you insert a 7, it gets us to 32, and we can land cleanly on the downbeat. As you practice this stuff more, you won't need math. You'll just be able to feel it.
And that's how you get the gig!
Well, hope you enjoyed that one. It's a little more abstract, a little more of an Adam Neely-ish thing. Adam, come on the pod. Anyway, if you've got a comment about this, if this has helped you, or if it hasn't, leave it below. And just a reminder, you can get the transcription for everything we talked about and drummed about completely free by clicking the link below the player and telling us where to send it on the next page. Dudes, it's been real. Always enjoy these. See you again real soon in another lesson of the week. Something still looks weird. Okay, fuck it, we'll just do it. No, let's post something on Instagram then. Okay, I deleted all my stuff from last year. Oh well. Oh, that's from my May clinic in New Paltz. Good times.